All right, we are live. So today is the big trial, the big scary trial. Like the description says, Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2, or the group formerly known as, is going to be put on the scale of justice today. See how it weighs out. But as always, we'll start with you guys' fun facts for the day. Just a way to get to know you guys' characters a little bit better. We'll start at the top with Kobe and Detective Easter. The question for everyone today.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you have to come up with it quick because you're just the first one on my list. But the question for everybody today, and this should be an easy one for Detective Easter, is what's a notable court case that you've either heard of, seen, or been a part of? Like if you've been part of a blind jury, if your character has been involved in a court case, maybe you were a defendant, maybe you were involved just somehow, or at least a famous court case that you had heard across Morningstar. But if Kobe or Detective Easter's not ready first, we can jump around to somebody else who is.
I'm gonna go with my the first official court case where we had to go in and hear the testimony, and it was about a guy who was stealing statues around town, and he would steal them and then deface them and make them all grotesque and then put them back, and so we had to figure out what kind of teenager was getting up to this kind of trouble. We finally found him, and they cut off his foot, so that was the verdict.
Is that like why his foot? I guess that's
that
my
way he
immediate
can't run
question.
around and do that anymore.
Oh, okay, not his
He'd have
hands.
to hobble. Yeah, he'd have to hobble and do so. I mean, he's still got to work, so got to put him to work. But
Okay.
we took his foot off, so he can't run anywhere and pull a statue. So
What was the most egregious defacement of a statue?
there was it was a statue of a nude halfling that was up, and they replaced the nose and the penis. So
Like they swapped them?
they swapped them. Yeah, it was not pretty. People weren't happy. Everyone was laughing, and we can't have that. We can't have any fun in Nyctanthes. So
I was gonna say I think a lot of the Zoo Warriors would agree with that sentiment. Is that Nyctanthes sucks and there's no fun here.
we're a zero fun kind of force. You do something fun, you're getting the law book thrown at you. That's the way we handle things.
You guys are getting
Is
the
this
real.
why Detective Easter always chooses to leave to go pick up people he needs to so he can get out of town for a while?
Yes, please give me any case out of town. Everyone signs up to be the first ones out of town, and you're just like, you get a break. You get to finally go drink at a tavern, and it's nice.
Well, I hope that the gnome at least was well endowed.
Oh, it was a halfling. That was
Halfling. I'm
one.
sorry.
Yes.
I apologize. No disrespect meant. But we'll
But it
jump.
was a full net what it needed to be.
We'll jump to Jared and his character Tyrell. Any notable court cases or anything you've been involved with or heard of?
It's just something I haven't thought of in a long time, and I don't want to admit to where I saw this, but I guess I could give you some details that kind of explain some of my, I don't know, thoughts on the process and my experience. There was a rather particularly odd case where there was in a people's court of some sort, a man was looking for the return of his dog who was taken by his ex-fiance, and he was very upset, and quite a trashy ex-fiance she was. I remember the Judge Judy, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
She definitely said she ended up siding with the man, but not before the lawyer Atticus. He was over there really just fighting for this man's dog, while the other the plaintiff's lawyer had this blue pen, and they said, what are you doing? You lying or something? And this is where it gets weird, because they said call it a red pen, and he wouldn't call it a red pen. He would only call it a blue pen. And everything's like a fever dream at this point for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the dog comes into the court and runs into his owner's the rightful owner of the man's, and he won. So,
I definitely thought this was gonna be a case where a
Fe-
dog was kicked out of a window.
Yeah.
And,
That's where I thought I was going.
or she ate the dog, but now I'm even more confused. Is this a reference to something that I'm missing? It's just going over my head. Red pin,
No.
blue pin. Is this like red pill, blue pill?
no, there was a liar, the blue pen. He couldn't. I couldn't remember.
Oh,
I was just trying to throw all garbage references.
I caught Atticus Finch and obviously Judge Judy, but the liar reference went over my head, so that was on me. I was 2 for 3, unless there was another one in there I missed.
No. Oh, well, I think I think I saw a people's court of the man's dog.
Oh,
So,
okay. Well, that seemed vague enough that you weren't citing something too
no, it's literally
specific.
people's court. Yeah.
Well, we'll jump to Cameron and his character Ranger Steve next. You got any juicy court stories?
Yeah. So honestly, Detective Easter's kind of reminded me of a good one. The way my community back home sort of approached these situations, it was a big community thing. If someone did something wrong, everyone's involved. They kind of have, the elders or the jurors and the enforcers, but there's a lot of input with the community itself.
Mm-hmm.
This one particular, on certain occasions, we had big blowout celebrations and dinners, and there was always, one suckling animal, that was roasted all day, that was presented in front of everyone, and someone had managed to put it in a compromising position right ahead of the presentation, so that the entire community, babies, toddlers, kids, like everybody got to see very inappropriate position that this animal we were about to eat was in. Most of us thought it was hilarious, but some tear on the tradition at the time. And so, they kind of narrowed it down. They kind of thought it was, kids our age, like my age. I was, firstly involved, but I had a good alibi. But some of my buddies were involved up on the trial. And just to hear the elders have to explain what the problem was of, like what was really going on, and, have to describe the situation. It was just absolutely hilarious. He ended up pinning it on my buddy, Tony. That's, he was just out of this world annoying. That's why, honestly.
Did Tony do it though? It just got pinned on him.
See, I actually never found out. So I actually had a solid alibi. So I knew it was between a couple different guys, but ended up getting pinned on him. So it wasn't that big of a punishment. He just had to go one day of like no eating or anything, just kind of tied to a pole in the middle of the town.
Wow.
Well,
it's kind of harsh.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad though. There's a lot worse. Yeah, I mean, it was hilarious to hear the elders have to talk about the compromising position the animal came out in.
So it sounds like there was just more damage done. Like it was irreparable. There's no, it was only going to get worse the more they had to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
That brings us to Josh and Tug, or formerly known as Tug, now Blib Dupulip.
So, a famous trial that we were involved in?
Yeah, so, maybe you just had heard of one
So
through
I would
like
have
taverns
to say,
and stuff?
I would have to say that probably the most, iconic trial that anyone had, witnessed thus far would be the trial of Blib Dupulip, where I was definitely found worthy and donned the amazing title of Blib Dupulip. I have to say that trial alone probably trumps all things.
Gotcha. So you're thinking of the trials of Blib Dupulip, the physical and mental puzzles and challenges that you had to overcome in order to obtain the mantle of Blib Dupulip. That's how you took that question.
I mean, absolutely. What else? What else could you mean by such vocabulary as trial?
That's a good answer. That's the answer that Blib would have. So I don't think that needs much explanation. And if anything, I think that foreshadows how a lot of this trial is going to go.
Oh no!
Yeah. And then finally, Ian and his character Soul or Sailor Sun, depending when and if she has sneezed yet.
Yes, on the moon. I remember such a trial. Oh, it took over the whole planet. We refer to the moon as a planet.
I was
because we're
about to
technically
ask.
but it had to do with a great athlete called Moo, M-O-O. We called him Milk for short. And he was on trial for murdering his wife. We saw him ride away on his trusty steed, a great white bucking bronco. And they captured him. And they found him guilty, and it split the whole moon. Who believed whether he was for it or against it, because he was such a great athlete. No one wants to see their hero athletes go down, but Mook, the Milk did it. And he ended it with saying, "Got milk."
Was there a key piece of evidence that put him away?
You know, there was indeed.
It's like a glove fit his hand perfectly.
No, it was a jock strap on this one.
Ah.
It was a perfectly fit jockstrap. Tried on in the courtroom.
It made for a very, very interesting scene to watch.
That would have been
was
very
cool.
scathing for sure.
I could not get my eyes off of it.
So was he an actor too, or he was? Well, I guess what's the opposite of an actor? I don't know.
Oh, no. He wanted to be a politician.
Gotcha.
He had only starred in a few Congress cases.
This all sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't quite place it. I don't know.
Well, you know, the Earth copies many things that the moon does.
That makes a lot of sense. They just took the better story and twisted it to their own reality. Okay. All
They
right.
just put it into, oh, you mean like a juicer?
They blended it all up. All right. That concludes the fun facts for you guys, unless you have any questions for me about Morningstar or the surrounding area, characters, etc., etc. Any pressing questions from anybody that I can illuminate?
What's a fun fact about the judge?
About the scale of justice, High Justice Ginsburg?
Yeah.
Let me just scroll on down to my character study here. So aside from Archduke Dionysius Nyctanthes Arbitritus I, the High Justice Ginsburg has been the only other High Justice in the history of Nyctanthes. That is how long she has served her term. There have only...
How high is she?
How high in the High Justice? She is the highest of High Justices.
And the only one.
And not the only one ever, but one of two ever in the history of Nyctanthes.
Okay.
She's lived a long time.
Would it not bode well for us to attack that? That maybe...
You could question the High Justice's ability to do her job, but
Not necessarily about that. More about... I mean, I guess...
should try that at a trial.
yeah, I mean, you know,
Not an attack. Like, can't we just like delegitimize the court system itself?
you want to do a smear campaign, essentially, is what you're getting at.
I mean,
You could do that, but ultimately I don't know how much time you have to do that, seeing as your trial is going to start in the evening, and it's like kind of noon at the moment for you guys.
What did we do all morning?
I went and grabbed a barrel full of water for Josh.
Okay. Oh,
That took all morning.
we'll be fine. We'll
Oh,
start.
yeah.
We'll start
Yeah.
in the morning if you need that much more time. I just figured we'd cut to the chase and get to the whole
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I'm supposed to have time to reach out to the Kuatoa.
You'll have
And-
time.
Yeah,
You'll have time.
I'd prefer to bring in a barrel of water.
Yes. Yeah. But we got plenty of time for you guys to do what you need before the trial begins. It won't be the trial that happens immediately. You guys, first thing you have to go in and figure out with just the blind jury, the high justice, and the prosecutors is a plea bargain. And then from there, there's the preliminary hearing, the pre-trial motions, and then the actual trial. So there's a little ways before that. But before all that fun begins, yes, last time we left you guys, you were going to wake up in the morning. So here you are in front of the Hall of Justice in all of its glory with the town before you as you...
Can you go live?
Yes, I could go live for you all. Thank you for the reminder.
All that amazing storytelling.
All that amazing storytelling. It's always amazing.
Absolutely, hands down.
But yes, now that you don't have to use your imagination, here you are before the town, all of its wonder and glory, and maybe some missing elements that I have yet to design. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
Are the cigars there yet?
Yes. If anything you sent out, it has been, brought to you at this point by the morning, because it was late last night when you guys left everything. So your cigars are here. You were able to get a barrel of water if you want one, Detective Easter. They are still
Yes.
compiling your notes and things. Any requests you may have made. I don't know if anybody else requested anything, but
Yeah,
you've
I sent
got
some
some
stuff on the
time.
cases and research, so that was.
Okay, so I want to go talk to Detective Easter.
Sure thing. He's standing right behind you on the steps of the Hall of Justice.
Detective Easter.
Madam Blib do pull up. How are you?
I know that we have had our differences, and it's no secret that I'm not quite fond of you. But this matters seem to over. This is more important than our feud. I have requested these cigars for you. They're supposed to be quite fine. I'm not a smoker, so I do not know. But it would be very helpful to me to know if the wine that my friend brought in, alcohol content, is too high. For I have been told that the punishment for that is cutting his tongue off, and I have become quite accustomed to hearing him speak. So,
Well, I see. So you want me to go and check the alcohol content of the wine that's being stored away for this barkeep of yours, and you're offering me cigars for this service. Is that correct?
no, you will get the you. I'm not. You will get the cigars no matter what. This is kind of an olive branch.
Perfect. Yes, I was worried that you were trying to bribe an official here. So, of course, I would be happy to help you out. Your friend Joni spoke very highly of you at the inn, and you all did help me with the anise hags, despite some hiccups along the way. And Soul seems to believe in you, and so based off of their word, I would be happy to check the alcohol content. That's within my authority.
Yeah, no, I understand how maybe your first opinion of me is a little bad, but you must understand, I was very sleep deprived. I wasn't myself. I wasn't thinking clearly. I regret my actions, and I guess all I can do is stand trial and hope that the punishment is fair, seeing how I'm innocent of 90% of what they're accusing me of. other than maybe the few things that I made mistakes on. But maybe we can work together better now.
Yes, well, I appreciate you reaching out with this olive branch here, and I would be happy, even without the cigars, to go and check on the alcohol content for your barkeep to let you know what he faces in front of him. However, I cannot help him get out of his case.
Yeah.
That is between him and the detective that arrested him.
Well, just knowing that alcohol content would be helpful. Thank you.
Okay, I can do that.
Can I, real quick, can I jump in my barrel?
Yeah.
And reach out to Buick, because I don't want to hog the game here. I need
You're
to
fine.
reach out to Buick and tell him that
Is Buick a new one?
no, Buick.
Buick? I like Buick, honestly, but that's fine.
I was thinking Buick, Hewitt, who's coming here?
It's hard to keep track.
Buick's not a bad one. I may save that, but right I have wrote down Buick. So
Gotcha. Buick I recognize. Buick I was a little foggy on, so.
Yeah,
But yes, Detective Easter was kind enough to procure you even a drinking water barrel and not the sludgy river canal water that you had been in previously. So.
well, he might be a pig, but he's a nice pig. So,
They
anyways,
call cops in this city rats.
Oh, okay, he might be a rat, but at least he's a clean rat. But I want to jump in there, tell him what's going on, tell him about the barkeep, and tell him to get $2,000 here on the snake. And,
Sure thing. I think I have miscellaneous exterior. Should be a barrel. Oh wait, no, being containers. Boom. It's a bit of a cauldron more than a thing.
It's the freshest water that you can find.
The freshest glowing water you could possibly discover. But there you go. You're in. You're checking it out. It's only glowing because you're providing the aura.
I'd like to ask Detective Easter, is there any possibility, as we're standing in front of the gallows, that we could hang?
Again, Soul, let me reiterate that you do not have to stand trial for the crimes of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2. You're merely a witness to them and the city of Edgewood. Beyond that, you've just been a companion traveling with me and with them. I see that there's no reason why you should fear the gallows, because you were not a part of this group in any of their escapades.
I give Detective Easter a very blank stare for not getting the joke.
But just like that, I did see some stuff happen, and I did nothing, and I chose and sided with my allegiance to them once I first met them, from what I've heard. So, I mean, I may be witness, but I certainly did nothing to get away or try and stop it.
I believe that you're referring to the time that Blib Dupulip tried to murder a blacksmith. And while we were doing this is right after the Battle of the Annis Hag, and Tug, Madame Blib Dupulip, attacked out of nowhere and started yelling about doom befalling this blacksmith, and he quickly took off, and I was charged with bringing the Zoo Warriors back. So there's not much that could have been done there. The attack happened, and then it was over right away, and the guy ran off.
Good thing Ranger Steve stopped it, right?
But now you are here as a witness, so as far as in my eyes, I see that your fulfillment here to the law would just be to answer as a witness should you be called upon.
Okie dokie. Cool. Thank you.
All right, Tug. Let's jump over to your communication with Buick.
Oh, do you want me to actually do it?
Oh, you don't have. If you just needed to reach out to communicate with him, and you need to send me a text message in private, that's totally fine. But
No, I don't care. I just didn't want to hog up the time.
No, you're fine. I mean, it's good. Go for it.
Hey, Buick, long time no see. How you doing?
Yes, my lord. What do you need?
Shit, I didn't write his name down. What's who's the guy you're working with? The barkeep.
Bastion.
Bastian. I did write it down. Bastian is in a bit of trouble here. He brought some wine into Nyctanthes, and they've got him pinned up. His bail's set at $2,000. He said that you would know how to get that out of the safe. Is that true?
Yes, indeed. He keeps it behind the bar.
Yeah. I need that brought to Nyctanthes ASAP to post his bail.
Absolutely, sire. Should I reach out to the other Kuatoa and tell them to bring it? It would be a much faster journey.
Yeah, the faster it can get here, the better. Who has it that can get it here?
Anyone from the Frog Spear should be able to get here. Unfortunately, it will take at least 3 days by foot.
Just as fast as it can be. Have you ever ridden a horse? What's a horse do for you?
I am afraid we have not been properly trained on horseback riding.
Yeah, I'll get that. We need to work on that. That's fine. If 3 days is what it takes, I don't know when his trial is. I forgot. But
I will select the swiftest among us to bring you the gold needed to bail out Bastian.
Awesome. You doing good?
As good as I can be.
What's wrong?
Nothing, my lord. I would never deign to complain to our God and Savior, Blibdupulip.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we're close, you know. I call you by name. You know who I know you know.
I am merely concerned for your safety in the coming trial.
Yeah, we'll be all right. It's mistakes were made, amendments are going to be made, so we're fine. But yeah, let's just get that money coming here ASAP for old Bastion.
Yes, God.
Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, hey, since I have the barrel of water.
Mm-hmm.
No, never mind. I don't want to bother everybody.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it. If you got to talk to your people, talk to your people. I
Well,
love this part.
You got to get your priorities in straight before, all this goes down.
This may be your last chance.
I might reach out to Hewitt.
Sure.
Hewitt,
Yes. Yes, Lord.
how are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm all right. I was tricked to coming to this god awful town.
Who would dare trick our God and Savior?
These horrible people here.
But tell me this lowly creature's name, and I will strike him from the surface of Morningstar.
That's why you are my right claw right now. That's why you are who you are. But we're not going to worry about that just yet. We still have other things to focus on. How is the school doing? How is everything doing with the new amendments and missionaries? And give me the lowdown. I'd like to know what's going on.
Everything is going swimmingly. I can't rightfully say there's anything wrong. Things have been going smoothly under my command and with your guidance. We've prospered. The missionaries have returned with new cadets, new people that share and bask in the glory of Blibdupulip.
Amazing. I love to hear it. Are we bringing in? Are we putting our word out to the farthest reaches? Are all Kuatoa getting to hear the message?
We are. Word is slow getting back. The missionaries must travel far to spread the word of Blibdupulip, and few have ears for it. But those that do are willing to join our cause.
That's amazing. I love to hear it. I guess that's great. You just got.
Is there anything else you ask of us?
No, not at the moment. How did things turn out? At Edgewood.
Excellent. We have established a foothold in the region.
Awesome. That's great. Well, I think that's all I needed to know. I'm going to reach out to everyone real quick and just let them know how proud I am of them and to keep having faith and to keep doing a good job. So
praise Blibdu Pulip.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just reach out to everyone now.
All right, all your Kuatoa people.
All my followers, yeah. All my children, it is I, your mother, Blibdu Pulip. I come to you today to let you know how proud I am to be your mother, and I can feel your love. These are trying times, I will say, and I need your support more than ever, for I can feel when you reach to me, and it empowers me. So please, my children, think of me today and give me your strength, and remember that I am always with you.
There's
Bye.
there's some undertones, undercurrents of concern that you make it sound as if you're in peril, but there is a warm, fuzzy feeling inside of the love of your people being sent out to you.
Awesome. Okay. I'm good now.
All right. We'll leave the barrel of water there for now. Anybody else need to run any errands or anything before any trials begin or anything?
I don't think so. Did Easter say that Joni was all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys followed up. He, rested up and back over in the inn over there, had his root beer and fish, had a good nap in the hostel, and yeah, everything was copacetic.
All right, solid. I think we need to talk to our lawyer maybe a little bit more.
Sure.
Just kind of hash some stuff out again.
So
Unless
the last,
other people have some more things to do.
yeah. Tyrell, Soul, you guys got anything you need to do before we enter the courthouse here? Hall of Justice?
Yeah, I think I would like to talk to our lawyer.
Okay. We'll go talk to the lawyer.
I would also like to talk to the lawyers.
Very well. Talking to the lawyer it is. So,
Well, after I lead them in there, I'll ask for a guard to, stand by the door to watch, and I'll go check on the alcohol content.
okay. Yeah, that would be great. And I'll text you that answer. Let me
All right.
put everybody in the room here. Ranger Steve, Sailor Son, Tug and Tyrell. So as you enter sort of the confines of the High Justice's library, you see that Warren White, Undead Attorney at Law, has not slowed down at all. He's been working all through the night, sleepless because he doesn't have to, just trying to figure out any and every single dark shadow of this case. And he sort of greets you and he says, Well, early bird gets the worm. Y'all ready for your trial?
I thought it was like afternoon.
That's what I like to call sarcasm.
Hey, question for you.
Sure thing.
Well, hey, and I look over to Ranger Steve. Like, should I pull this out or should I just talk about it?
I think we can trust him.
All right. So I wanted to show you this contraption here I have. It may be damning evidence. I want to get your take on this, on whether we should try to make this disappear or.
Well, lay it on me, brother.
Ooh, right. This is a device, as I pull it out to show him, that controls a large mechanical tower of a Titan that may have or may not have destroyed large portion of the city that we are on trial for.
And how'd you procure such an item?
That is a great question. What if I opened my bag and it was just in there?
I'd say that's rather peculiar.
It is.
Don't you think that'd be a bit shady for that to come up in trial? You got something in your bag you don't know where it came from?
Well, I think we know where it came from, but it might be impossible to dispute if another side has a different take on the situation, if you know what I'm saying.
And what side might that be?
Like, if this all goes to shit, we may just pull that Titan in to destroy this whole place.
No, if
Oh,
you're,
just kidding.
you have it in your hand, does that show that we were responsible for the Titan destroying the city? Or would it be enough evidence for the juror to believe that we defeated the Titan and we took it as a trinket?
That's a good story.
Because we didn't want it destroying the, we didn't want it to fall in the wrong hands. So we took it to stay safe.
Yeah.
To
And
the
guess
city
what?
safe.
No other cities have been destroyed, have they?
That Titan is still sitting in that city, growing some vines.
Well, I don't think it's any secret that Hob took a liking to that giant, that shield guardian of his. So I think it's pretty common knowledge that he was controlling it. Now, if you came into possession of such a trinket, that would lead someone to believe, which you're already being accused of, that you were responsible in his demise. Now, I'm not saying we can't work this to our advantage, because we're already saying that Hob was not the good old knight he pretended to be.
Right. So we're on trial for killing him. Everyone thinks he's a good guy. We've got, that's what's hard about the situation. We don't have a whole lot of hard evidence, but what would make us act on a way to kill the town, to destroy the town and to kill Hob? There had to have been a reason, right? And after the fact, we supposedly killed him, which we did. We defeated him. And then ever since that happened, that robot has done nothing. That giant knight has done nothing. Because we've had the controller.
My sources tell me that shield guardian's no longer present. Now, there is a giant statue that happened to appear of Blibdoo Pull-Up. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that those Kuatoa may have covered up your shield guardian to put a shiny new blue statue up in Frogspear.
Guys, I no other have a statue. I have a huge robot of myself. That is all I got from that. Is that give me that fucking controller? Can I try to go take the controller away from Tyrell?
Tyrell hasn't revealed the item. He's only spoken about it. So
I don't care. I'm immediate. I want
whoa! Let's not get into any altercations before we go on to trial.
Oh, no altercations. He can have it.
Oh, I take it. I take the controller.
Oh boy! All right.
Maybe that was a bad idea.
Guys, look at I've got a controller. I need
Christian, let me know whenever I get done with my stuff, and I'll rejoin.
You can rejoin at this point. You can knock on the door if you'd like to enter.
Yeah, I'll knock on the door.
You guys want to open the door for him?
So, guys, I have
I'm just gonna open the door anyways. I have the keys. So.
Sure. You open the door and you walk in. All right. You are thoroughly inside the library. Do you shut the doors behind you? You leave them open.
Shut the doors.
All right.
But slowly.
I can't animate them slowly, but you can use your imagination.
I have a question for the lawyer.
Shoot!
What if I get called to the stand? What do I need to do?
Why, tell the truth, of course. The version that doesn't incriminate your friends.
I'm gonna look around the room at everyone, like, kind of shifty-eyed, like,
But don't go walking into any pits. You slip up and happen to reveal you're lying. They like to cut your tongue out or have you share the sentence with the people you're trying to defend. Now,
I'm gonna
eyewitness
close-
testimony. You can't be lumped in with them by telling the truth. So what you saw is what you saw. But just play it safe. I guess that's all I got to say. Detective
All
Easter,
right.
what you got?
Yes. Tug, I went upstairs to get the information, and unfortunately, it is not good.
What? Okay. So just give it to me straight.
I did give it to you straight. It's not good, above the limit.
So, do you know when his trial is?
Christian, what did the case say about his trial?
So his trial is going to take place after yours. Like, yours is at the forefront right now. It's the number 1 case they want to get out of the way, kind of get finished with. It's, taking the most amount of personnel and everything. His case is more of a minor one. They may just throw him to one of the swords of justice to deal out the justice if this case goes for too long. But he will be called as a witness in this case at some point, or at least he's on the witness list, so he has the potential to be. So they won't cut his tongue out before then, but this is something that you can resolve after your own case.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you, Detective Easter, for looking into that for me.
You're welcome, Madam Blibdupulup.
Yeah, I'll need to step out and talk to Iyek real quick if I get the chance.
Yeah, so there's a jug of water on the table you could submerge your head in if you really wanted.
Yeah, I mean, when I get the moment, I'd like to mosey on over there and.
Sure. So we'll say that you move over to where you need to kind of make a private phone call, so to speak. But anybody else have any questions or anything for?
I'm trying to intently listen on his conversation.
Okay.
So we didn't really get a whole lot of clarity about the controller. Is this something we should bring up or not? I guess now it's,
Tug is going to take all the heat for it now. It's fine.
yeah, but we're lumped in with the heat. It's not just going to be a Tug thing.
I don't know.
That was a group thing.
This all depends on if you think we can twist something like the shield giant into our favor. Honestly, I can't see it as much of a plus or minus. Now, if you had some items that just so happened to be illegal that you procured from a private stash of good old Hob, now that we could work with.
Yeah, right here.
Hey Tug, before you talk to your buddy, what did you pull out when we were underneath the trident? We all walked away with some pretty cool stuff. Did you walk out with anything that's on that list?
He's on the phone.
No.
He just had one ear in the jug at the moment, so.
I mean, it would have had to been the crystal ball or the ever-spoken bottle, but I mean, I didn't write down where I got those from. So unless any of y'all can remember, I don't have a clue.
Well, there's only a couple illegal items in your possession that we know of and that you're being accused of. So if it's not one of those items, that needs to be brought forth before the trial as evidence against Hob.
let me look at my list and see if it.
Well, we've got the 4 items somewhere. Hold on, let me open them up. Maybe.
I mean, we don't have sovereign glue. The dimensional shackles were what dear rest his soul Billy had. The 9 life stealer is the legendary sword.
So all the items, I believe, were after that.
Yeah.
So I think you had.
Crystal ball, true sight.
I think the true sight for sure was before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had the crystal ball. Like for the entire time, I think.
But like, where would you have gotten that? We didn't do anything really that big before that point. You would have had to have like bought that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did because you had a lot of money.
So if that's the only one I can think. If it's the other 3, no, those were post. Tried
Alone. Oh, yeah.
But I cannot remember where you got the crystal ball. I didn't imagine that's something you could buy, but
Everything has a price.
I know, but that seems extra, like, especially if it's an illegal. Yeah, no, if it's an illegal item, there's no way you bought it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember.
There's also another little hiccup that I may have come across.
Did that
Isn't
scare
that
me?
goddamn raccoon?
Okay.
The hiccup may be that someone else is paying me, or willing to pay me, more than the potential money I could make off of saving your skins. Straight up cash. To bow out of this case.
Tug?
It's not your buddy Tug. But I'm afraid to speak the name.
I thought we could trust you, my dude. And
That's why I'm bringing it up with you.
Well, it sounds to me like you're kind of blackmailing us to maybe ante up above that number.
I'm not blackmailing you. I'm just letting you know that I'm between a rock and a hard place. Your mysterious benefactor defending you is quite the force to be reckoned with. And the lady on the other side, I don't want to be on her bad side either, if you catch my meaning. So all I'm saying is...
What's the lady on the other side? What's her intentions?
I'm afraid to speak her name. She's got ears everywhere.
Tug's girlfriend. Got no shot, buddy.
Hey.
I don't know who Tug's girlfriend is, but this lady is not someone you want to mess with. And that's why maybe I'm getting a little cold feet. So I just wanted to let you know that if I proceed with this, I'm really putting my neck out there. 'Cause I may be undead, but there's ways to kill the undead.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And you can bet your bottom dollar she knows a way or two.
Who's the next person in line that would represent us?
Just yourselves.
Oh, yeah, no.
There's not a lot of lawyers here in Nyctanthes. I'm one of the few ones willing to put my neck on the line, seeing as I'm undead and all. But the kind of power these 2 people wield, they could put me away for good. And old Warren White prefers to keep on kicking.
So it sounds like if you stay in, you're dead. If you bow out, it'd probably piss off your original contributor, correct?
That's true. I could probably skip town. Maybe if I'm lucky. Sail across the Anasi Sea and live a somewhat normal life before they found me, but my days seem to be numbered either way.
I mean, you could do that, and I'll go with you, buddy. I know a solid place across the NCC.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound half bad to me. If I take the money and we split town, we can live a pretty good life and get pretty far.
I mean, sounds pretty good to me, guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, did you guys just get engaged?
Yeah, it's cool if I just like bow out with him.
Unfortunately, Ranger Steve, I cannot allow you to just bow out.
That is a bit tricky for you, Ranger Steve. I have yet to take the oath that binds me to you and your justice, or your fate. So I could still skip town while being completely legal. You, on the other hand, are not just a witness, but you're being convicted. Or not convicted, but accused. So I'll tell you what. If you're alright with me skipping town, and you're gonna come after the trial, I'll save a seat for you.
How about you tell us who this new person is, and maybe we can talk to them. We won't bring you up, you know.
You don't think she'd know? Shit, I already said too much by saying she.
Well, if it's the same person that I think you're talking about, you know, Tug over here has been asking about her a ton, and if she's as well connected as you are saying...
If you're talking about the Nyctanthes family, you're dead wrong. I'm already dead, so I might as well say it. But I'm talking about one of the swords of justice. I'm talking about Dolores. That scaly-skinned, pale-faced, silvery-eyed devil. She came to me and said, I'll pay you up front, cash in hand, right now to drop this case. I don't know what angle she's working, but she doesn't want you to come out of this the other side alive.
Okay, can we use this information in our trial?
That someone's trying to bribe an official?
Yeah, no, that you're being bribed by one of the three.
Seeing as I don't have the gold in hand.
But if you're gone by the trial, then I think it looks pretty suspicious, especially with Easter standing here.
It's not beyond me, but it's all hearsay, and the moment we come out with that, I mean, you don't accuse a sword of justice lightly without proof. We don't have much to go on.
We've got a trusted detective right here listening to your whole story.
Listening to my story, and it's my word versus hers. You think they're gonna trust old Warren White? Even Detective Easter can tell you the whole keepers of justice don't exactly look lightly on me.
He speaks the truth. If it is Dolores who is offering him cash, then she must have some other reason. Perhaps she is connected in some way to this case and does not want to see a confidant, or perhaps someone that she's benefiting from, be put on trial. Is there somebody here that you guys have been accused of a crime against that you guys would be able to bring damning information against? Perhaps this Captain of the Blue Suns has something to do with it. Hearing all these things about and seeing them on the rat's nest there is a bit discerning. He's
That's
yeah.
all,
So what do you
that's
have
all
against the Blue Suns?
we've got plenty of stories to tell, but you know, we're the ones on trial. Who's gonna believe us?
Do you
A
have
lot of this
any
stuff we're
evidence?
accused against. What sort of evidence besides, I think Tug has a blue sail, portions of one, but I mean, other than solid evidence, no. That's, you know, that's where a lot of this is going to go, I think, in this trial. So again, yeah, I mean, I could almost guarantee Dolores is probably connected with the Blue Suns and all the shitty things they did back in the Trident, and probably here in Nyctanthes.
And you said that they were slave trading, illegal slave trading?
What we thought was very illegal. Apparently, it's just a little illegal because there's slaves here.
Just indentured servants.
But yes, I mean that they're a big part of the whole reason everything went down in the Trident.
Well, is there anything that we could prove to any hard evidence that you would imagine that we could take down the captain of the Blue Suns with? That is, if you think that he is the connection to Dolores, I would ask you to look a little bit more into your case. Is there somebody else that would have a connection to Dolores?
Actually, I think I might have a connection with the Blue Suns captain. Hey,
How
Trevor,
is
now.
that?
Is he dealing with a?
He might be dealing with the baby. I don't know. But
Yeah.
So if I remember right, he really hates you and all people. He said they've been messing up trade routes consistently to the Trident and all over the place.
Yeah.
Do any of your living Kuatoa, did they ever live to tell the tale of them messing up and seeing anything on his ships? You know, going from anywhere. You know, he said they messed up the trade routes a lot. Do you think there's anyone you could reach out to that might have some experience or memories of what they might have seen on some of the ships that supposedly ruined the trade route? And then the Trident completely, they saved the Trident from the Kuatoa, and that's why everyone loves the people we killed in the Trident. It was all because of your people. They had to have seen something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can reach out. I can ask questions. I think you might be onto something.
old Dolores would be smarter than to let a loose end tie her to this. And the few people responsible for probably dealing with her directly are dead. I'd say Hob was probably your best chance at tying Dolores, seeing as the captain of the Blue Suns was an underling of Hob. And if she's as protective about her dealings as I think she is, she only would have shared that secret with Hob himself, under the penalty of death. Or worse.
Well, if we can establish any sort of connection between the Blue Suns and Dolores, it's a start. And we can start to see what other things perhaps the Blue Suns have offloaded into Nyctanthes, and whether it's people or animals, and what illegal activities and that they are up to. Perhaps they're storing away illegal artifacts or trophies, and we can build up a case. Maybe find a connection to Dolores somehow, some way. If there's power to be had, she's going to find a way to get it. She has to be getting something in return. If there is a connection here, it's got to mean something.
Well, would you look at that? You guys lit a fire under Detective East over here. Seems to me your little case has tickled his fancy. It's so nice to see you all playing together.
Yes, like I've said before, this group has surprised me. They have a lot of ability to do great good, and they counter that with the ability to do great idiotic things from time to time. It's very surprising, and I was shocked to find out all the charges against them, and hearing this case about the Blue Suns and how they're involved, I'm starting to believe that they may have just been at the wrong place at the wrong time for most of this. And in fact, they're just a group trying to do their best, and a few mistakes along the way are nothing to get killed for.
Well, I tell you what. I kind of want to stick it to Dolores, if I'm being honest. I'll stick it out. I'll throw my hat in the ring with you. See how it all shakes out. Seeing as I'm dead one way or the other, I'd rather bring Dolores down with me.
This is good. If we can connect the Blue Suns to an open crime currently, is there any way that their testimony would be brought out, and at the very least, the Zoo Warriors would prosper if we could connect the captain of the Blue Suns to a crime?
Now, I think it may be a bit of a stretch if we're gonna try and build a case against Dolores while defending ourselves of all these accusations. I think what we need to do is get out in front of this case first, save our skins, and then hit it hard and fast and try and prosecute Dolores. Because once we get that case out in the open, anything happens to us, Dolores will start to look real suspect. And even she knows better than to hurt her chances at taking old Ginsburg's place as High Justice.
Do you know where the direct line of communication was with Tony into his case against us or Billy Banger?
Well, Detective Easter can probably tell you more about that. But I can't rightfully say, seeing as the Keepers of Justice don't necessarily divulge how they communicate across long distances.
Christian, do I know how we communicate across long distances?
Yes. It's usually by letter, sending stones, or in the very rare occasion between offices with crystal balls.
Gotcha.
So in your case, it would have been sending stones. Or letter.
And so I would have known that he would have had that, and he would have been sending that message back and forth, the upkeep to...
Yes, sending
Like
stones
the High
are
Justice.
pretty standard equipment for detectives.
Oh, cool. I don't have any, but that sounds really cool for the guys who are cool enough to get those.
You kind of pat your pockets and realize, oh, they're there. I forgot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me add those to my
Since
my
I
inventory.
can tell he's feeling sad, I'm gonna toss him one of my two that I have.
Oh, yes, sending stones. Well, this is a an item that gets used by detectives. There's also other means. Letters get written and sent out, and there's other ways that I'm not allowed to divulge that we can communicate. But sending stones and letters are very, very common for detectives.
Never owls, though. Horrible messengers. Slowest flying bird in all the avian species. Definitely not good messenger pigeons or birds.
I make
the
sure to
message.
note that it's not owls that we use. Well, if you're suggesting that we get out in front and charge Dolores, I'm sorry to say that it seems like there's just not enough time. How would we have a case against her, and what charges could we bring to the court that would delay their trial?
It's not going to delay our trial. We'll still have to make it out on the other side. What I'm saying is as soon as we're finished with ours, and we're all safe and sound, you submit an investigation against Dolores with a connection to the Blue Suns.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna pull out like a time traveling device.
Ha! You got one of those? Why didn't you say?
Oh yeah, I have one.
Christian, if I submit a formal investigation, would that be information that everyone would get to see versus me just having notes and doing my own investigative work?
You as a detective have the rights to investigate or open a case on anyone, whether that be the High Justice herself, one of the Swords of Justice, or anyone across Morningstar, especially Nyctanthes.
Okay.
That is a thing of public note, and that case would open. You guys would obviously have to collect the evidence, seeing as you don't have any at the moment. But maybe some of the things come to light in this case that you could potentially glean, or further research through the city, getting to know Dolores better, or her underlings, maybe finding new evidence that you could use against her. But like Warren White said, is once you opened that case, Dolores would do everything to stop you because you'd be public enemy number one, but she wouldn't dare harm you for fear of it looking like she's just going to kill you, right? Like once she's being accused, she wants to look as innocent as possible. So
Okay. And what beyond just a connection to the Blue Suns? We would have to prove that the Blue Suns are also doing illegal activities and prove Dolores's input into it is at a high level to get her charged. Would we not? We can't just she can't just be somebody who offers advice from time to time, or someone who's frequented a ship of a Blue Sun. She has to be somebody who has paid for their services or been a part of a greater conspiracy. Is that right, Warren White?
that's correct. The more we can dig up on her, the better our standing's gonna be. Physical evidence, proof, eyewitnesses, placing her at the scene, or dealing with any illegal activity.
Well, I will divulge now that I have an open case, that there is an open case against the Blue Suns currently, and it has to do with the sell and possession of a manticore within Nyctanthes. We have captured a manticore, and I have submitted the captain of the Blue Suns as a possible suspect.
Bingo
So
bango!
we do have him there.
There's our numero uno. That'd be more than enough to open up a case.
Didn't we run into a manticore before? No.
I do not know what you have run into before. I'm sorry, Ranger Steve. Perhaps if Billy was here, he could tell you whether or not you ran into a manticore.
Do you think that we could bring on another witness? Do you think the paperwork could be filed fast enough before the trial?
Before your trial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to find the most appealing to us, and quite possibly the dumbest shipmate on the Blue Sails ship, and apply a little pressure in court and see if he speaks.
Well, the captain of the Blue Suns is on your witness list in this trial.
The captain of the Blue Suns has been doing some pretty terrible things for a long time. I imagine he's very well versed at lying. So unless there's something within the jury, within the trial, that's going to be able to tell out who's lying and not, A, we're going to be scot-free, but B, he's going to get away with it. But if we can somehow pressure someone not as important as him, but's on his boat and sees his do his day-to-day stuff, maybe we can get him to speak.
Don't you think we should wait to play that card until we're going up against old Dolores?
But it all comes back to us getting through this because we killed Hobb. We probably killed Shaw too. I don't know. But if this guy was around for all this, he's gonna start squawking with enough pressure. And all Tug's got to do is have half the court filled with a bunch of his Kuatoa visual pressure.
I do not think it would be a good idea to intimidate the jurors of the court or any witnesses. At least in a public setting. What you do privately is up to your counsel, but I would not advise trying to pressure a witness while in court with any sort of muscle.
I think that once we submit that form, we buy ourselves as much time as we need. But if we start trying to juggle too many things here at once, we might slip up. I think going after one of the Blue Suns right now would only harm us in the end.
I'm just trying to make a connection to Hobbs because he's dead. And the only other word beyond that is us against what Tony thinks he knows about what happened. If the Blue Suns could pin this all on Hobb, then we're cleared of that murder.
You got a little time before the case if you want to try and persuade one. But I don't think you could persuade even the dumbest of those Blue Suns to go up against, the old captain himself.
I'm just spitballing here, buddies. But if you've got any hard evidence that we have not talked about, I'd love to hear it.
I mean, I got plenty of defenses built up for you. Did you guys prepare any of your opening statements?
Yeah, I mean, got that.
All right. Well, I got everything I need built out. Aside from any of the questions and witnesses you want to bring to the table, I'm ready to go. Now, when we step out those doors in about an hour, we're gonna enter the plea bargain phase. We talked about that last time. You all could still take the plea bargain. Granted, we don't know what it is yet. But that would forego everything. Judging by the room, doesn't sound like that's a thing.
I mean, maybe, but yeah, we put a lot of work in, so I think we'll be all right.
Well, after that, we got the preliminary hearing, which is where we try and throw out as many of these accusations brought against you as we can. Then the pre-trial motions, and bingo bango, we're off to the races. The trial begins. As I said, I'll be with you every step of the way. So if any point during court you need a question from me, you just ask. After all, I am your advisor.
Are you going to be sticking around us until the trial? I don't want you getting hurt now that you're...
Oh, I'm staying well within the halls of justice, believe me. I'm not leaving this room.
Well, it sounds like the Hall of Justice is trying to pay you off to get out of here.
Well, that may be true, but nobody's gonna step in here without the permission of the High Justice herself. Granted, if you want to stay behind, or at least one of you, to watch my back, I'd appreciate it. But old Warren White can take care of himself for the most part.
Can I leave a detail of my Kuatoa with him? There's 20 of them around here somewhere. Can I?
Yeah, they're out in the lobby. You passed them on the way here.
Yeah. Can I leave a? I know there's 19 of them not doing anything. Can I?
They won't be allowed. They won't be allowed past the halfway point or whatever. They're allowed in the Hall of Justice in there, but they wouldn't be granted permission to come in here,
Well, um,
as has
I'll po-
already been established a couple episodes ago.
that's fine. I'll post them up, by the door or whatnot. Like,
Sure.
I let him know. I let him know that I got my Kuatoa posted up for him.
How do you let them know?
Appreciate that.
Did you need to talk to your people again, Tug?
Well, I mean, yeah, I need to.
Let's go ahead and do that while you were telling them to set up a guard outside of the room here.
Right now.
Yeah, if you want. You don't have to right now, but we can do that if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I need to. Well, I was wanting to talk to Ayik. Is who I was wanting to talk to.
Sure.
Hey, Ayik, where are you at, buddy?
Do not worry, sire. I still have the sword.
Did you things?
Sorry, what? You broke up.
Well, you should have more than the sword, buddy.
Yes, and the crystal ball.
And the super glue and the egg.
All of it.
Okay. I have something else that I need you to pick up.
Of course.
But I don't want you to. You need to leave the stuff in a safe place and come get this one.
I am afraid to leave it.
Okay. Well then.
Can we send another Kuatoa potentially?
Yes. Yeah, that's actually where I was going with this. I'll send someone to you, and you just let me know where you're at, and I'll have them come take this to you.
I think it would be best if when they got here, they stayed.
Okay. Why?
It is rather scary in this city.
Are you all right? You're not stuck somewhere, are you? What did you get yourself into?
Nothing. There's just many dark places and things I have not seen before.
Like what?
These furry creatures that crawl around on all fours and have tails. Some of the civilians are brave enough to go up and pet them, but they hiss and make these horrible noises.
Talking about cats. They're the greatest thing in the world.
Cats?
Yeah, those are called cats.
My God, Blibdupulip, I've seen them catch fish out of the river.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not. You're a big fish. You're the big fish in town.
But there are many of them.
Yeah, they do that. They populate. I'm not saying that you need to be best friends with them, but they're not. You can handle a cat. I want to be. I wouldn't be too worried about them.
If you say so, I believe you.
They only like small fish. So, yeah, you let me know where I need to send this person. So where do they need to meet you at? Where are y'all going?
I'm just below the clock tower.
Okay. Just below the clock tower. Keeping everything hidden.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to send somebody your way.
I will await their arrival.
Okay. And then I want to address the 19 that are left.
Sure.
19, I need you to protect my lawyer. Somebody might be out for him. So y'all's job now is to be posted up and making sure that he's all right and safe. Can y'all do that for me?
They all agree and sort of spread out in the space of the Hall of Justice.
Okay. And but I need one of you to volunteer to deliver a package to Ayik underneath the clock tower.
You hear Buick call out and say, "Aye, my God."
Okay, meet me by the door, and I'm going to hand you something. And you need
Good
to
old
take
Buick.
you need to take it straight to Ayik and then come back. But do not let anyone see it or know that you have it.
Of course. So yes, you meet
Stealth.
Buick by the
I'm
door,
sorry,
and
what? Madam Blib du Pullip, where are you going?
I'll be right back. You just chill.
he's
I'm charged with making sure you do not run away before your court case.
I'm stepping right here. I just need to give Buick a hug.
So-
Buick is feeling sad and misses me. Don't you, Buick? Put a sad face on.
yes, my lord, and he does his best to frown, but he already kind of naturally frowns.
So yeah, I give him a hug and slide him the controller.
Okay, he takes it.
Yeah,
He says, "I feel better."
that's there. Yeah, look how good they're getting. They can speak.
Are they actually able to speak common?
Yeah.
They speak
First
common.
of all-
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh wow, these 20 speak common. This is the top of the top.
You said send your best.
That's right.
You're common.
What?
They speak undercommon, but these 20 speak common.
Because they're the best of the best. All right.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
It's not
Name
the
that movie.
Is that Full Metal Jacket?
No, that's Men in Black.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The best of the best of the best, sir. Yeah.
Hey Ranger, do you want me to ask them about the Blue Suns, or we not gonna go down that path yet?
Apparently, we need to not go down that path yet.
Okay.
You can still go get the witness. You have time to do that. It is just Warren White was advising against it to take the case you have in front of you now, and then obviously open the case against the Blue Suns and tying
Right.
Dolores to it
Yeah.
after.
I'm
My initial thought process was for the case now because they're tied to Hobb, and we're supposed that we murdered him, and everyone hates us for it because he was the savior of the Trident. So
Yeah, but he was a villain. He was a horrible, evil person.
yeah, I mean I agree, but we don't have any hard evidence against it.
But I mean, surely, like I got 20 witnesses right here that can speak to him trying to kill my people and enslave them and cut their heads off. And I mean, we got 20 witnesses right here. They can even speak common. But
I
we'll,
mean, the general idea of them for anybody they bring out of the Trident or Frog Spear or whatever is gonna say that they don't like them and that Hobbs brought them down because they were terrible.
they're not.
That was,
They're
that was
misunderstood.
the general synopsis of the Kuatoa.
They're misunderstood. They've done nothing but peaceful and helpful since I brought them out of the darkness.
You're quite impartial to the situation.
Well, like I said, you guys are welcome to go out, like scour the city. You got like an hour left before the plea bargain is presented to you. So
No, if our lawyer's saying not to do it, then I say we hold off.
Yeah.
If they want to hold off, I have something that I need to do before that happens.
okay, and yeah, if you guys need to go,
I'll leave a guard at the door.
okay, yeah, there's guards posted outside.
As long as they don't have anything, if they need to do something, that's.
I was
more
gonna say,
important
if you
than what I
guys
do.
need to kill an hour in the tavern or whatever, get one last root beer and fish or something before your trial or whatever.
Just to clarify, I'm leaving them with like as many guards as I can spare.
Yeah,
to leave
yeah.
them with?
So
Yeah,
the the Hall of Justice is already starting to fill full of the guards for the plea bargain to be announced. So there's
I'm
literally 2 at every single door.
If I'm going to get anything, I'm going to get some sleep potions and get real sleepy. If you know what I mean.
you know exactly where Purveyor Paid is. So
Is this trial going to be broadcasted?
very nice there, Purveyor Paid. Unfortunately,
Christian,
they don't, or not unfortunately, but they don't live broadcast trials. It needs to stay within the courthouse for the sake of
cheating everybody.
right, yeah.
Oh, integrity quotation end quote. Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right. The general public could, riot potentially outside at something they didn't like. So you gotta keep them in the dark and trust that public opinion just has to deal with the verdict that is brought to light afterwards. That's why the blind jury is brought in. They're the ones that have been selected. So no public viewing. This is not what is it that you said earlier, Jared?
Public trial.
Public trial or whatever.
Judge Judy.
Yes, not Judge Judy. Small claims court.
People's court.
People's court. There you go.
If it's small claims, man, it's about to get wild.
Is that what's
Christian,
That's
I need to go talk to the leader of the Tendraka, Chief Mahomes.
Yes, of course.
Chief Mahomes. Damn.
Chief
Hey,
Mahomes.
Detective, is that your dad? I've got an hour to kill. I'd love some dinner.
That is not my father. He is the leader of the Tendraka clan.
It might be your last dinner.
Is that a threat?
I was gonna say, why would it be Detective Easter's last dinner?
No, I'm talking to Ranger.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna shut the door behind me and get the guards and take off towards the chief.
Yeah. So there's two guards
No.
literally posted outside the doors right there.
I wanted to see that go down.
I mean, if Detective Easter will let you, he already closed the doors, but you can open them and try and follow him.
No.
Okay.
Sounds like a little word.
Well, you guys got an hour before that, or we can just fast track to the whole thing.
I'm wondering how much left in that hour is. I think I've heard that for a few times.
I'm just trying to give you one last chance to go and do something if you need to go and do it.
Tyrell's prepared.
Okay.
What did you pull up? It's so unprepared. It's not even funny. But
It's test day, and I didn't study. And
guys, I don't even remember. Like, I'm so in the dark right now. I've worked like 100 hours since last. But bring it on. Let's rock this bit.
I am more than ready to take on this trial.
Yeah, because then
Totally forgot he was even here. He started talking. I was like, "What? Oh yeah."
Well, if they don't have anything to do, then I'll just do my thing and come back and be done.
Sure. Yeah, we'll say that took the hour. Did you guys do anything in your hour?
I did like
prayed
100.
to the moon.
100
Sure.
push-up. Okay. So you didn't do anything. All right. I gotcha. So you guys come out into the courtroom. You can see the blind juries here. You could see High Justice, the scale of Justice Ginsburg is here. Tony is over at his table, and we'll pop you guys in the room.
Can we come out doing the full Monty?
Christian, do you just want me to send you the conversation I had, or did I even find the chief?
You can send me the conversation you had if you need it to be in private, or if you want to talk about it as if you were there, much like Tug does it. That's totally fine too.
I'll just send in private, since
Okay.
it's more or less you would have to respond. I don't know how you would respond as the chief. So
Okay.
to my questions.
I'm happy to respond to them. Obviously, I'll
Oh,
have
if you
to.
want, okay, if you want to do that, then we'll just pretend that that's happening right now.
Sure.
And so I see the chief, and I do the ceremonial, greeting, which is like a, President Scrooge from Spaceballs.
I'll be honest,
That's
I don't
that's the
remember
greeting
that
of the
one.
Oh, it's when you're given, you put
Oh,
your
yes.
arm up,
Okay.
and then
Now I
you give the
know.
middle finger, but you turn and do the hand wave. Yeah.
Yes, I know the one.
Okay.
Now. Let me put Tundranka out here. Humanoid. Human. Half demon. No. dragon folk. So let's make. Wait, let's do this, guys. Chief Mahomes.
Chief Mahomes.
Oh, two.
All right. Here's Chief Mahomes.
Awesome. Chief Mahomes. I give him the ceremonial greeting.
Why, yes.
What was that?
I'm Chief Mahomes, guys.
It is. It is good to see you, Chief. I must seek your counsel before I do something.
Speak your mind, Chandraka.
Yes, I plan to open an investigation against one of the Swords of Justice in connection with the case against the Blue Suns. This would be quite the undertaking and perhaps put strain upon the clan, being that the sword is Dolores.
Damn. Yeah, I'd say that's quite the move to make.
Yes, Chief.
Is this all part of your plan of becoming a sword?
I would love to become a sword one day to honor the Tundraka and see that we are protected and well provided for and represented in the city.
Well,
But-
you have the support and the backing of the Chandraka clan.
Thank you, Chief. I must go now. I must attend to the trial of the Zoo Warrior Electric Boogaloo 2 clan. I am interested to see their fate.
Our strength goes with you.
Thank you, Chief. And I give him the old ceremonial Scrooge.
Yes,
And, take off.
He does the same.
What a ridiculous voice. The Kermit voice. I love it.
That's my best Kermit. I'll have to work on that one. At first, I was gonna do a Dragonborn voice, and I was like, "Oh no, he sounds like Kermit the Frog. I have to do Kermit the Frog."
Chief Mahomes he's got to sound just a little bit different. That's perfect. I've been waiting to unveil Chief Mahomes to everybody since I thought of that name a long time ago.
I was happy to play him, so I hope that's not the last we see of Chief Mahomes. So I guess you guys have your pick of the seats or whatever. At the moment, it's just the eyewitnesses, the blind jury, you, the High Justice, and lo and behold, the doors just outside are the 3 Swords of Justice before you, standing menacingly.
Oh my gosh! Look at Dread over there.
Yes, Dread is obviously the one of the largest one. Barristan is the one closest to the door that you walked out of, and Dolores is farthest. But there they are, the first time you've laid your eyes on the Swords of Justice. But they are all here for the plea bargain. So, Sailor's Son or Soul, I'll let you pick your seat.
Is it typical that they would be here for a plea bargain of just a regular case?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the Swords of Justice necessarily, but upon the request of the High Justice, this is a high-profile case.
Gotcha.
With the presence
That
of the
they would be there.
Kuatoa, the extra security was felt like it was needed. So yes, they are currently here. Please ignore the other collection of people. I simply didn't want to put them in there and waste time. So they're not there at the moment. But the Kuatoa, all of the eyewitnesses, you, the blind justice, the blind jury, and all the guards, as well as Tony, are in presence for the plea bargain that's going to be sold to you. So you guys kind of take your seats. Soul, you sit right in between Joni and Cole, the kobolds, and Detective Easter. You kind of sit down to the other side there. So, who did I not grab? Why did I not grab them? I grabbed everybody.
Yeah, should just be the 3 of us now.
Yeah, it is.
We have all 5. Unless,
Oh,
Tony
Warren White.
Perkins.
Warren
Is he
White
there?
is who I was thinking.
Oh.
I was like, there's one more person that should be
Right,
here.
unless you're telling us he ran away.
So let me
Oh my gosh.
hang on.
No.
no. Dun 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 bum 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 bum. So what is delivered to where Warren White would be standing?
Oh my god.
I was hoping it'd be like nearly headless Nick.
Is Warren White's head missing his jaw. This will represent him. So one of the guards delivers Warren White here. So you can see his eyes moving behind the mask and his white hair, but they've cut off his bottom jaw, so all you can see is his tongue, like wriggling around, incapable of speech.
Well, how did that happen? Weren't we all?
It's okay. I guess there's not really any mention doesn't matter to talk about it now, right? Let's all look over the TV because he was the only other one in the room. Okay. All right. Let's hear this plea bargain. Let's continue. I guess I can fill in.
I mean, I intended for this to happen after the plea bargain, but I kind of messed up the order of things here, so.
It just happened before.
It just happened before. It's fine.
You didn't want to do his voice through the whole trial, did you?
I need
don't
you.
blame you.
I need you guys to defend yourselves. Is what I need ultimately. That's
D20?
you're still going to be able to ask Warren White for advice, like I said, but he's not going to be able to walk around and run the trial for you. You're going to have to. I physically, and just for the sake of the fun of everything, cannot be both or all three, the prosecutor, defense, and the judge. It doesn't work. So,
like, no, it's more fun for us to be frustrated. I like it. It's good.
I'm just gonna look over at Soul and just kind of shrug and shake my head like I haven't seen this happen in like 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
Oh my God.
So sorry, poor reveal,
I'm
poor
just making chicken puppets.
poor reveal, poor execution. But I planned on you guys going out in that hour as well. So.
Worked exactly as I would expect, actually.
So yes, you can still he'll write with his tongue on a piece of paper if you need to ask him a question. He'll answer for you, and who knows, maybe he'll even find the bottom half of his jaw. But he's incapable of doing the fullest extent of his job. But thank God he prepared all these notes and everything for you. So
You guys should get him a cherry to see if he can tie it with his tongue.
We're not listening to you right now. And
So Tony approaches and he says, "Greetings, Zoo Warriors, Electric Boogaloo 2."
I want to shrug Pug and see if he has something to throw at him. No, don't do that. I'm just kidding.
Chaos magic.
No, I just throw kisses his way.
He sort of looks at you with disgust and nods to the High Justice, making sure that she, and then he realizes that she's blind and he has to go over and talk to her and say, "Your Honor, Blibdupulip, the one who currently has sexual allegations forced against me, against my will, is only adding to the insult and injury by blowing me kisses as I read the plea bargain."
Objection. There's nothing sexual about this. Let's continue.
Yeah. Different cultures.
Per the trial of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 versus the people, your plea bargain is as follows. The Keepers of Justice are willing to strike a deal with the group known as the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2. Any member may surrender their right to a blind jury trial in exchange for the following deal. Those willing will be inscripted into a rehabilitation program. Their time in rehabilitation will last until they have proven they understand the laws of Nyctanthes and demonstrate their willingness to reform. A written test will be taken to ensure these laws are known. Upon completion of rehabilitation, the participant will be inscripted into the Keepers of Justice for a minimum sentence of 45 years. Participants may never rise higher than the rank of detective and may be considered for early release upon good behavior. The ownership of any lands, possessions, or rights will all be managed by the Keepers of Justice while the participant serves their term. Any infractions or proof that the participant has strayed from their agreement or broken any of the laws of Nyctanthes will be subject to immediate public execution with no opportunity for appeal. Do any of you find these terms of the plea bargain to be agreeable?
$45 that's not terribly long. I mean,
Yeah, for an elf, what's that? You know, a blink of an eye.
no, I look at the other guys and we're all shaking our heads.
You're all shaking your heads yes or no?
Left to right.
Are you speaking for them, or?
I wanted to do an obscene gesture to him, but I suppose it's probably not too.
Yeah,
good
I
for-
was actually gonna. I was gonna like take the paper and act like I'm gonna sign it and then just write "fuck you" on it, but
do it.
we'll just politely say no.
Let it be shown that none of the group known as or formerly known as the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 have chosen to not take the plea bargain. That will then lead us to the preliminary hearing, and I shall read the list of charges brought against you. The list of charges brought against you are as follows: 18 individual accounts of assault on Tony, citizens of Deepwood, Frogspear, Chode, and Edgewood. 11 accounts of second-degree murder, various citizens of Frogspear, including Orcus, the Pawn Star. 3 accounts of first-degree murder, Hob, the Savior of Trident, Ra, and Bo of the Restless Knights. 4 accounts of possession of illegal magical items, the Crystal Ball of True Sight, Sovereign Glue, 9 Lives Stealer, and the Dimensional Shackles. 1 possession and distribution of illegal drugs to a minor, the Witch's Inhaler to Joni the Kobold. 3 accounts of aiding and abetting known criminals Jaspier, Billy, Banger, and Coconut. 1 account of domestic terrorism, destruction of a public artifact, the Giant's Bones. Account of unregistered metaphysical religious organization. 3 accounts of killing an endangered species, the Kirin of Helm, and 2 owlbears. And finally, 1 account of sexual assault against Detective Tony Perkins, myself.
Is that all? No. Okay. What else you got there?
Would any of you like to plead guilty to any of these charges now?
I will plead guilty to sexual assault of Tony. If it's illegal to love a man,
That's what you're pleading guilty to.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Great start.
Great start.
High Justice Ginsburg, may the court and the blind jury recognize that Tug, or otherwise known as Blibdupulip, has pled guilty to the accusation of sexual assault against my person. High Justice Ginsburg, I trust that your verdict will be enough to satisfy the blind jury. Does the blind jury, the representative of the blind jury, find it adequate that High Justice Ginsburg may establish the punishment for Tug Blibdupulip? The guy on the end kind of stands up and says, "It does." Let it be shown that the blind jury acknowledges the guilt of Blibdupulip and accepts the impending judgment of High Justice Ginsburg. Are there any other of these accusations the rest of you wish to own up to? If not, we shall proceed to the pre-trial motions.
Hey, Tug, if it's eye for an eye or whatever, you might get some out of this.
That's that's what the overall plan is.
Yeah, I mean, you just gave him a hug. You might get a little orifice. I know you're used to that.
We'll see. We'll see how this plays out. I am technically guilty of doing it, so I'm not going to deny it.
So there's nothing else that you think you might be.
Yeah, can we kind of look over to our jawless pal over here and see if he can give us any note of?
You can see his eyes burning that you admitted to the sexual assault charges, and he is shaking his tongue in a left to right motion, saying, "No, no."
Yeah, then we will remain silent.
Very well. We shall proceed to the pretrial motions. Representatives who choose to stand in defense of the accused may step forward and inherit the justice of the final verdict now or forever hold your peace. You see Warren White sort of wobbling to get your attention, and he's...
I hold him up.
Let it
He's a ghost.
be shown that Warren White's tongue is acknowledging he wishes to step forward and in defense of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2. Warren White, do you understand that you will now share the justice that will be dealt to the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 at the end of this case, win or lose?
Do his eyes shift at Dolores?
Wait, so he's got to take that sexual assault charge too?
He will, yes. So Tony says, let it be known that Warren White's tongue is acknowledging, yes, he accepts these terms. Very well. At this time, would the defense care to throw out any of these cases that they deem unfit, that they see as not enough evidence?
Well, here, the court and all here, I was expecting a moment for an opening statement.
Opening statements will begin with the trial. If you would like to proceed to trial, we may do so now.
Yeah, I mean, what do we think we want to throw out, guys? And we look over to Tongue Boy.
Warren White is pointing to a list on a sheet, and the list on the sheet says cases to throw out, and it says 18 individual accounts of assault, 11 accounts of second-degree murder, 4 accounts of possession of illegal magical items, 1 possession and distribution of illegal drugs to a minor, and 3 accounts of aiding and abetting known criminals.
See, sexual assault was not on that list.
So he clearly thought you could have got out of it, is yes what he's saying, but not by the means of throwing out the case.
All right.
But under each one of those lists a reason. The 18 individual accounts of assault, the reason is none of the citizens appeared here in court, and it's all them versus you. There's no hard evidence. It's been long enough that all of the wounds, if there were any dealt, were not scarring. 11 accounts of second-degree murder, same situation. Those people are either dead, and there's no one here to vouch for them. The 4 accounts of possession of illegal magical items. As you entered the court today, there was a screen of all of your items, and those items were not in your possession. So without the items in your possession, there doesn't appear to be a case for it. Possession and distribution of illegal drugs to a minor. The witch's inhaler was not found. Any drugs that were in Joni's system have passed, and there's no way to, test that. And then the 3 accounts of aiding and abetting known criminals, Jaspier, Billy Banger, and Coconut, without Jasper, Billy Banger, and Coconut here, there's no real way to hold you accountable for the crimes that they committed. So, would you?
I will go before the judge and the court here to throw out a list of things.
All right.
And I do look around to see if there's a loner wig, because I don't appear to be wearing one.
You notice that Warren White's hair is white, but you don't know if it's a wig or not.
Okay. Well, I'll give up on it. I noticed that
Okay.
all eyes are on me now.
They are.
We would like to throw out the 18 counts of assault, as no one there on any of these 18 have appeared in court today. You have no hard evidence. On the 11 counts of murder in the second degree, this is of the same defense, as they are all deceased, and there's no one here to vouch for them. Again, no hard evidence. For the 4 counts of possession of illegal items, as we were entering the court today, we were screened at entry, and no items were found, correct? You have no hard evidence. For the one count of illegal possession and giving to some young boy weed.
Distribution.
You're making it sound worse.
Hey, we were not found with a witch's inhaler, and with Joni, if there was any way to even test his system for these illegal drugs, you'd have no proof at this point. There'd be nothing to prove, as they would be through his system. Again, no hard evidence. And lastly, in aiding and abetting criminals, without the 3 that we have supposedly aided and abetted, as all they are again deceased, there's no hard evidence, no way to hold us accountable, so we would throw all of these out.
Your Honor, scale of Justice Ginsburg, let it be shown that I do not have any evidence to support otherwise, although let it also be shown that Jasper is still at large and the whereabouts of Coconut are unknown. We do not know if they are dead or not, and we only have the word of this group that Billy Banger has perished. Otherwise, I leave it to your judgment to throw out these cases or keep them as you see fit. Scale of Justice Ginsburg sort of nods to you, Tyrell, and says, "These cases shall be thrown out." We shall continue with the 3 accounts of first-degree murder, 1 account of domestic terrorism, 1 account of unregistered metaphysical religious organization, 3 accounts of killing an endangered species, and 1 account of sexual assault, which has been stricken from the record, and justice will be dealt at the end. Per the confession of Blibdu Pulip. We may proceed to trial.
Can we take a couple minute break before trial?
Sure.
I gotta say goodnight to Teddy.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh.
So yes, you guys
Mm.
sit
I'm
down
gonna
at your
lean over.
seat. Yeah.
Well, that went really well. Good job of getting those thrown out, Tyrell. I thought you did a good job.
Thanks.
I want to stand up and look around at all the guys and be like, good job, guys. I'm so proud of you. And then I'm going to sit back down and kind of look to the ground.
So the doors kind of open, the crowd files in. There's kind of a miscellaneous bunch of people on the side of Tony. And then there's all of the witnesses in the front row. And then the Kuatoa that are kind of behind the pews. There's guards posted everywhere. The Swords of Justice proceed to go and sit down. Or not sit down, but there's like a bench over there. We'll just keep them over there for now.
Well, geez, were there flyers posted around town? Why are there so many?
It's the biggest trial that they've had in a long time. Yeah, people.
I've literally told all my
Really?
friends, everyone I've seen, "Guys, you got to come to this trial."
but it's not allowed to be viewed on any channel.
Right. Definitely not.
Live.
Illegal to be viewed live.
Well,
Yes.
because if something is like, justice, quotation end quote, they could just murder everyone in here, right? Is like, it looks like I see drainage on all corners of the building, so all the blood could just be.
There's not going to be a red wedding as far as I can tell, but maybe Tug has different plans for his Kuatoa. Who knows? When Ranger Steve gets back, we'll do opening statements and the trial will commence. Yeah, sorry I botched but I don't know. I wanted to help you guys out one last time. I was honestly going to have you come back to him being dismembered already, but I didn't think that would be fair to not at least give you some pointers on who may have done that to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it also, it really set up the story too, to be like, why did that happen? Yeah.
Right. So, apologies on the execution of that. I'm not trying to cheat you. I just am also trying to not.
Don't apologize to us. Apologize to Warren White. He's the one who got executed there.
He's still alive. They just obviously took everything but his brain. They're sending a message, so to speak. And who knows? Maybe they're keeping his body to barter with, right? And you could use that as further evidence against him. So
I'm still just laughing about. You would assume that he saw his attacker.
Yeah.
So I'm still laughing about old Chief Mahomes.
Like I said, I am gonna have to work on my Kermit voice.
That was good. I was just wasn't expecting it.
I heard somebody say what.
Then I realized it made sense.
That's pretty. Maybe I'll just have you be Chief Mahomes.
Definitely give me something to do.
That's pretty good. You'll be called as a witness. Don't worry.
Well, I better be.
But if Ranger Steve is back, if the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 would like to make their first opening statement, Tony can go second.
Oh, I thought usually the prosecution goes first.
That's fine. Prosecution can go first. So, Tony sort of steps up to the blind jury, who are indeed all blindfolded. Not physically blinded, but blindfolded. Esteemed humanoids and creatures of the blind jury, I want to start by providing a brief and simple explanation of the proceedings you are about to take part in. The criminal organization known as the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 are being charged with assault, sexual assault, unregistered metaphysical religious gatherings, killing of endangered species, domestic terrorism, and murder in the first degree. You, the blind jury, will be responsible for listening to the testimony of eyewitnesses and determining a verdict based on the evidence provided. Finally, I have a question that you need to ask yourself. My hope is this question will be something you can think back on through the trial, acting as a compass that will help you navigate this impending storm of overwhelming information. That question is, if they are not stopped now, what horrors await us in the future? Thank you, Scale of Justice. That is all.
I like the South Park walk back with the legs that.
I can make him do this if you want.
Yeah, kind of.
Are you making the opening statement, Tyrell, for the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo?
I can do that.
or do you prefer to float?
Yeah, I didn't bring my hoverboard.
Okay.
All right. Hello, good jury, and good evening, good morning, and good night. No, I was told in my days of study that a common strategy in an opening statements is to start critiquing the state's case and letting the jury know that there are two sides of the story. Studies show that jurors often make up their mind about a case right after their opening statements, so you need to start strong. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to be out loud. Members of the jury, this case is of overstated accusations, misunderstood circumstances, and outright perjury. The group we make up here have been known to be called Electric Boogaloo Zoo Warriors, to something of that estate, but this was just a misnomer declared by a now deceased tagalong who happened to commit or provide most, if not all, of the most serious of felony counts against our whole group. I'll ask of you all, if one student shits in the urinal, leave the premises never to return, is it fair? Is it justice to put the punishment on the rest of the class? For the items to be discussed today that do not fall under a Bill Banger did it, or should or could have the group prevented, we have answers to everything to explain unusual circumstances that explain our actions. Thank you for understanding.
You see nods among the blind jury, and you're allowed to return back to your seat. Let the trial commence. And she bangs her gavel on her podium, and Tony steps up and says, Your Honor, I would like to open with the assault charges. I call to the stand Baldbeard the Broken. You see Baldbeard the Broken kind of, oh wait, which one's Baldbeard? This one's Baldbeard the Broken. Shuffle from the seat and go up to...
I don't even know who it is.
What? I knew who it was. I pulled him from the wrong side, but I got him now.
They didn't take a spear? No hand?
you gotta ignore some of the weapons, and it's the only dwarf in the entire collection of items that didn't have a beard. So, Mr. Baldbeard, can you recount your encounter with the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 in the town of Edgewood? Why, yes. I was merely doing my blacksmith duties by watching the town as the rest of them went into the forest to collect their wood. It was very common that they're gone at least a week, so I was familiar with this custom and was merely taking inventory of my stock when the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2, as you say, approached me. They had a number of questions about the town, when people would be returning, if I would spread the word of their good deeds, saving the town from these apparent monsters that lived among us. When, seemingly out of nowhere, the lobster one shot a firebolt and scarred my face, as you can see here. He sort of points at his, still bubbling, somewhat fresh wound that has yet to fully heal. He says, I used to have a beautiful black beard, and I was not always known as Blackbeard the Broken. But the blonde-haired one in the crowd there saw fit to deem me with that name, and I wear it as a reminder of the atrocity done against me. In your opinion, why did the one known as Blibdu Pulip, the lobster one that you pointed to, attack you? I'm not quite sure. To be honest, he started to rant about divine justice, and to the credit of some of the group, the ranger did attempt to stop him, but it wasn't enough, and the firebolt still streaked across my face. Would you, Mr. Baldbeard, consider the Zoo Warriors 2 Electric Boogaloo to be a stable group who is a force for good? I would not. Will you ever be able to grow a natural beard again, Mr. Baldbeard? No, I do not believe I will be able to. Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have for Mr. Baldbeard at this time. Would the defense care to ask Mr. Baldbeard any questions?
We look at Mr. Tongue.
He says yes. But you can see he's trying to like shuffle through this big pile of papers and failing to find the right page.
With it, with his tongue.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I would like to ask some simple questions to Baldbeard.
Please step forward.
So you accused me of striking your face, if I recall, correct?
That is correct.
Did I not come to you and apologize and tell you that these actions are wrong and that if they might have happened, that I feel bad and am sorry for it?
Are you admitting guilt?
No, I'm asking. Did stuff happen? Did someone apologize?
You attempted to apologize, but my face is still scarred.
All right. Well, I mean, if I could just hold your hand for just a brief moment.
He kind of looks up at High Justice and realizing that she can't see him, he says, High Justice, I don't feel comfortable touching my aggressor.
Could I just put my hand on his? He's got it there. I just reach up and touch it.
Tony steps up and says, Your Honor, Blibdu Pullup is showing aggressive behavior towards my client, which they have obviously said they feel uncomfortable about. Please remove your hand from the eyewitness.
So am I touching him?
You are touching his hand, but the High Justice is asking you to remove it.
Then I cast Cure Wounds just to fix his face, and I take my hand off and go and sit back down and say no further questions.
So he kind of pulls his hand back as you cast the spell, and Tony immediately steps up and says, Your Honor! And then you see the Baldbeard the Broken sort of touching his face, and he sees that the wounds have healed. Like the blisters and the bubbles are gone, but the scarring still does remain. It did heal him, but it's hard to tell if he'll get a full beard back or anything, but it's not as hideous as it once was. And you said you went and you sat back down? What did?
Yeah, I
okay.
just say no further questions and I go and sit back down. I was just trying to touch it.
So Tony steps up and says, Your Honor, let it be known that my defendant was unwillingly cast a spell on. He did not ask for medical services from his aggressor. And I think this only goes to show the blind jury that Blibdu Pullup tries to take matters into his own hands at the cost of the emotional damage of others. And
Objection.
the High Justice Ginsburg says, Sustained. You may...
Yeah. My question to the eyewitness here is, good sir, do you feel any better?
Doesn't burn as much as it did, but
Can you get this man a mirror?
please, I would like to see my face.
Yes.
So yes, one of the guards brings you a mirror, and Baldbeard sort of holds it up, and you can see he's still got this like nasty scar in like half of his face, like from the middle of his lips to all the way to his ear. He's got this burned, scarring that has healed. The other half looks like a normal face, and you can maybe even start to see some stubble come in, but he'll only ever have half a beard.
I mean, very distinguishing. I mean, handsome, I would say. I mean, but that's just.
Yeah, I'd like to ask him, like, how do you feel about the changes?
Half a beard is better than none, but I still wear my mark of shame.
Why take it on as shame if not with a little bit of badassery, if I may, and maybe a start to a new nickname. Always look for the positive.
I feel like I'm grasping at straws at this point. My face is still horribly misfigured, and I will never grow a full beard again. All because I just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Boy, don't we know how that is. Good luck to you, sir, and I'll sit down.
Your Honor, I have no further questions, nor do I wish to torment my defendant any longer by keeping them on the podium. They may step down. I do, however, want to call Soul, or Sailor Sun, to the stand.
Me? Oh, okay. I want to kind of run up and kind of trip on my way there.
You kind of stumble, yeah. You catch yourself, kind of gracefully. It's
I want
not.
to hear the.
You want to hear the trip?
Oh.
Oh. Are you okay? Yeah, sorry.
Madam, what is your relationship with the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2?
Oh, I'm new to the group.
So you do associate yourselves as part of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2?
Well, they took me in immediately, and so I mean they're the first people I met, and so they took me right in. I've not known them very long.
And you met them in Edgewood, correct?
Yes.
You were responsible for aiding them in the killing of supposed monsters.
Yes, from what I'm aware of. Yes.
So can you describe the event that transpired between Mr. Baldbeard the Broken and Tug, or as you or he proclaims Blib Dupulip?
Well, I remember coming out of the tavern, and then next thing I know, I'm surrounded by all these people that I don't know who they are, which happens to be the group. Thank you guys again for welcoming me. Next thing I know, we're walking down the street, and they're talking about some battle that happened previously, and they said they were happy to have me, and they said they worship everything I walk on, and next thing I know, we're chatting with the blacksmith guy, and we're asking where everyone's at, and everyone's talking about what happened the day previously, and say, hey, they're just happy to help, and then I don't know, something just happened, and I see Ranger Steve try and block Tug to help the blacksmith out of the way. I don't know if it was a misfire or anything. I was still trying to figure out their names to begin with.
So there was a clear misunderstanding or disagreement between the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 in the moment of this firebolt being cast?
Seemed like a big misunderstanding.
Did Baldbeard the Broken make any aggressive movements towards any of the members of your party that would deem such a spell to be cast?
I was still just trying to figure out my surroundings, but between you and me, if people just got done fighting, and the first person you talk to and see is someone that's around weaponry, you might have your guard up. And so I don't know about them.
Was Mr.
Maybe...
Baldbeard brandishing any of these weapons at the time in a threatening manner?
Again, not that I know of, but I know that they were talking that he was a blacksmith, and that could have just elevated everything. I was, like I said, just trying to figure out where I was and who I was with.
Would you say that Tug attempted to cast the firebolt, and as a reaction to that, Ranger Steve attempted to stop him?
Yes, I would.
Ladies, humanoids, gentlemen, creatures of the blind jury, I would like to recognize the fact that Blibdoopulip made a conscious decision to cast this firebolt, and as a reaction after the fact, the firebolt was tried or was attempted to be prevented from hitting Mr. Blackbeard. This shows that the punch to Blibdoopulip was not the cause of the firebolt being cast, but a reactionary attempt at stopping the firebolt from being cast. I would now like to call Mr.
Can I add something else?
Of course.
Well, it seems to me you have forgotten to discuss or ask about anything that went on the day previously about why everyone's anxiety and stress levels may have been so high. So you don't even know where Tug's mindset was even at. He may have been on high alert the whole time and worried that anyone and everyone in the village was turning into crazy what they were the day before. And when you're on high alert, you know, you're wanting to protect everyone around you. You're not thinking good, especially after the giant battle that we had the day before. So maybe you need to figure out what the battle was about and figure out where everyone's mindset was and understanding why this could have happened.
Very well thought out response, and I do appreciate your
Thank you.
perspective.
I'll go back to my seat.
I do have more questions for you on that point.
Okay. I'm not going to be very helpful with that one, but okay.
Would you say that the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 seem like a stable group?
I think they're stable within each other of knowing who they are.
So, in knowing
And,
who they are, Ranger Steve knew that Blibdoopulip would attempt to injure this innocent blacksmith and therefore try to prevent the firebolt from being cast?
No, I think in knowing who they are, they know that what each other's emotions and stress levels are at. So I think Ranger Steve was on high alert of just anything and everything in the surrounding area, including how his friends were doing. Um, from what they do, they don't get a chance to deal with their emotions and discussion a lot. So just being able to kind of observe each other is the best you can do. And Ranger Steve just happened to be observing at the right time.
I have one final question for you, Soul. Or is it Sailor Sun?
Whichever you want to call me.
Well, that is a point of interest to me, is who did witness this take place? Was it Soul or Sailor Sun? And who am I speaking to now?
I'm Soul. I totally witnessed it.
So can you explain to our blind jury who your other half is and when they happen to appear?
Well, I don't know a ton about my other half because, well, I'm not there. But my other half is Sailor Sun. She's a guardian of the Moon Kingdom. She appears only during specific times. We do not share memories. And so what she observes and goes through is not necessarily what I observe and go through. And so that's pretty much it.
So you have another half which you struggle to communicate with at all, and it is summoned unwillingly, just by happenstance.
It can be, yeah. That's a good thing about
Is
being
is Sailor Sun a different person than you? Different temperaments, different, just as you say, calmness, level-headedness.
can be. I mean, a bit more battle worn, you might say. Understands reactions a lot more than I do. Other than that, I mean, I don't really know. That's why it was so nice to meet this group, because then I get a chance that if I transform from one way or the other, they can inform me on what went on and what I'm going through.
I personally would not trust the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 if I were you, but you seem to have a good heart, and that goes a long way. As I said, my final question for you was not meant to be directed at your two personalities, but as my defendant stated earlier, did you provide his new moniker of Baldbeard the Broken?
Did I? Oof. I don't know. Could have been caught up in all in the moment. I don't know. I'm not that funny.
Would you say that
Or that way.
Sailor's son is that funny?
Oh no. No, not even a little bit.
That is all. Thank you. Did the defendants have any, or the accusers have any questions for Sailor Sun or Soul?
No.
You may return to your seat, Soul. Thank you for your time.
Oh,
Let the
thank
blind
you.
jury know that Soul, good-hearted as she may be, clearly has multiple personalities. My defendant claims that she is part of the group, which she admitted to here herself, that she belongs to the group known as the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2, and supposedly gave him this moniker, this mean-hearted joke, which has now become his namesake. I, for one, would not trust the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2, with Soul or Sailor Sun being a member of the group. I do not believe that you can trust them either. Thank you. I would like to call to the stand for my final investigation, Tug, or as he is known, Blibdu Pulip. Do you approach the stand, Tug?
Yeah. I don't really have a choice, do I?
Not really. Ma'am, can you recount the events that transpired between you and Mr. Baldbeard the Broken?
No.
None at all? No events? Are you saying you simply blacked out?
No.
Can you elaborate on what you mean by you don't remember?
I mean, I didn't say I don't remember. I just can't recall.
Can you elaborate on why you can't recall?
We were really stressed, tired, been up for days on end. Things were really blurred together. I just know that the poor man went through a lot. It's really a shame. Wish it wouldn't have happened.
What state of mind? You say you were tired, exhausted when you cast your firebolt. I just want to get in the mind of the motivation behind it. As I've asked the previous eyewitnesses, was Mr. Baldbeard aggressive in any way towards you?
He raised his voice. I felt attacked.
How did he raise his voice? What did he say to you?
Yeah, I don't recall.
He don't recall. Do you think your issue recalling is part of your fatigue that day? Part of your being tired?
Probably.
When you make these choices, tired or otherwise, do you make these choices as Tug or as Blibdoopulip?
Well, I mean, are they not one and the same?
I am not sure. If you could elaborate for the blind jury, I don't think...
Who's on trial here, Tug or Blibdoopulip?
I personally know you as Tug. You represent yourself as Blibdoopulip. The entity before us, the physical form, is who is on trial. The name, just as you say you are no longer part of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 and call yourselves the Saviors.
I have never personally been a part of the Zoo Wars Electric Boogaloo 2. I'm still confused on who's on trial here, Tug or Blibdoopulip?
Both Tug and Blibdoopulip at the same time, but what I'm asking you, sir, is who shot the firebolt? Was it Blibdoopulip or was it Tug?
Oh, well, I mean, that's a whole different, trying to figure that out.
But that's exactly what we are trying to do here, is figure out why my defendant, Mr. Baldbeard the Broken, has a horrible scar across his face for the rest of his life for doing nothing more than providing information to strangers in his town.
I guess you shouldn't talk to strangers. I was taught that at a young age. I feel bad for him. I wish events could have been avoided.
If you were not exhausted, would you say this would have been a mundane, everyday conversation with the blacksmith?
Yeah, sure. I don't really talk to blacksmiths, so I don't know what a normal conversation with a blacksmith would be.
So you, in your past, have never had any interactions with other blacksmiths before?
No, that's not true. I mean, Tug has had many interactions with blacksmiths. He holds a certain blacksmith very dear to his heart.
So Blibdoopulip had never dealt with blacksmiths before?
That would be true.
So is it fair to say that Blibdoopulip is the one that handled this altercation?
I mean, still, in that moment, I don't know if I could swear to who handled what.
Would you say that this lack of control is common? Especially amongst a god. I would expect more stamina.
Well, I mean, that once again, that depends on who's in charge. I mean, the god was last time fighting a demon, and then, maybe Tug was having a conversation, and then maybe Blibdoopulip the god, came back in and was fighting a demon still. So, I mean, things are somewhat back and forth here.
So, unstable at best. And while you do express sympathy towards what happened, it nonetheless did happen. Is out of the question?
I think that's what we're all here today to try to figure out, is whose word is really the truth in all of it. I mean, what did happen and what didn't happen? I mean, isn't that the main point of today?
Which is exactly why I'm asking you questions and the other eyewitnesses. I would say, as a general summary, based on the eyewitness accounts, you, or Blibdoopulip more specifically, in a form of fatigue, unfortunately, did cast a firebolt, which one of your members of your own party attempted to prevent, yet it still unfortunately struck the face of my defendant, Mr. Baldbeard the Broken, and he is permanently scarred. All I ask from the blind jury, and obviously yourself, is that there be some repercussions for this unfortunate incident. I have no further questions for Mr. Blibdoopulip. Thank you. Would the accused like to call anyone else to the stand in their defense? Or have any questions for Blibdoopulip while he is on the stand? Would the accused like to present any evidence that may absolve them of the eyewitness testimonies and questions we have just seen and heard? More heard than seen, really, seeing as everyone's blind. Your Honor, if there are no further questions to be had towards the assault charges, I would like to move on to the unregistered metaphysical religious organization. Again, hi, Justice Ginsburg motions towards the Zoo Warriors. Says, do you have no further defenses or witnesses to call to the stand for these assault charges?
We look over at our attorney.
Your Honor, I have been tasked and given permission to stand and present any cases with or against the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Then I would like to approach the stand and give my side of the case.
Detective Tony Perkins, will you allow such an action? I will, Your Honor. You may approach the bench.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Detective Tony Perkins. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, my name is Detective Tundraka Easter of the Tundraka clan. I was tasked with going to Edgewood to locate the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 and bring them back to Nyctanthes. While there, I found the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2, at least part of the clan that you see here before you today. Those members were Ranger Steve, Tyrell, and Lady Blibdoopulip, or Tug as she is also known. While there, we were attacked by 2 Annis hags. Now, what Sol attested to earlier that Blibdoopulip, or Tug, however she wishes to be known as, she may not have been in the proper state of mind. The Annis hags are able to control the minds of some of the weaker among us. They had control over the children of the town and unleashed an attack upon us, not only the 2 of the hags, but also the children of the town. We had just been through a great battle and come back the next morning when the incident took place against the blacksmith.
Detective Easter, may I interject with a question?
Yes, you may.
You said you took a long rest and the next morning you spoke to the blacksmith.
I did.
Let the record show that Blibdoopulip said he had not received rest before the altercation with the blacksmith. I have another question if you may allow it, Detective Easter.
Well, I can only clarify for myself. I myself took a rest in the end that night. I cannot attest if everyone else got shut-eye. I do not actually know what species Tug, Blibdoopulip, claims to be. I've heard Genasi and I've heard Partkuatoa, or Sea Goddess. I do not know if she sleeps, if she tires. I cannot attest to any of that personal.
But there was
feeling.
Time that transpired, a night's worth, between your altercation with the Annis hags and the morning conversation you had with the blacksmith.
That is correct. We finished the battle late into the afternoon and slept, and then got up that morning and proceeded to look for, or at least I proceeded to look for somebody to alert about the status of Commissioner Cassius Credo, who was in fact an Annis hag.
Do you have any evidence of these Annis hags? Any proof?
I do. I have logged the proof into the proper chambers above us, above the courts here, into the detectives' quarters.
Can you divulge what those
yes,
items
a
may be?
necklace. It is the necklace of an Annis hag that I pulled off of the main hag, who was going by Sib the Soothsayer. I learned that information from the zoo warriors who had previously encountered her. They had been either bewitched or tricked into trusting the Annis hag. I imagine they can be quite cunning, and under their care, she killed a companion of theirs, a Mr. Andy Ravage, who was traveling with the kobold.
Now, you say these Annis hags were controlling people. Did they control them with this necklace, or was there some other method at which this control was had?
I do not know the ways that the Annis hags work. There are only theories about, but theories are hearsay in court. And so I have entered the necklace into evidence and hope to one day find out, how the Annis hags control other beings. But they do, in fact, control other beings. I can attest that in battle, and so can each one of the other zoo warriors that were there in the battle also. If the blacksmith was there to observe, then he would have seen the children acting erratic as well.
A few final questions then, and I do appreciate you bringing this information to light. The children were under the effect of the Annis hag, correct?
That is correct.
The
children that we saw.
When the Annis hags were dispatched, killed, did their grip on the children remain or disperse?
It appeared to disperse for the time being. I cannot say whether or not that a magical effect would have lingered had anyone been under their control. I do not know the state of the children. I can tell you that I overheard one of the children thinking that he had a new name, and that was something that Tug, Madam Blibdu Pull-Up, and Ranger Steve were discussing. Is people were wanting new names in the town. I believe the blacksmith was also wanting a new name in the town. I was bewildered why somebody would want a new name. They should be proud of their name, like the Tundraka are proud of our name.
I see. I have no further questions, and I appreciate your testimony. Would the accused care to ask Detective Easter any questions?
No. No.
All right. Detective Easter, you may step down. Thank you for your honesty. With this portion of the trial concluded, I suggest we move on to the accusation of unregistered metaphysical religious organization. Tony Perkins, who would you like to call to the stand? High scale. I would like to call Tyrelius Ferelius III to the stand. Tyrell, how are you?
I'm kind of busy.
It is a rather busy time, yes. Did you witness Tug's ascension through the ranks of the Kuatoa?
Yeah.
When did that ascension take place? Is there a hard line between Tug and Blibdu Pulip? Was there a I guess, for lack of a better term, an epicenter, an event that caused Tug to assume Blibdu Pull-Up fully?
I think that's a great question because I think really Blibdu Pull-Up is and has always been, and it's clearly always been within Tug. Just because we've seen a physical change doesn't mean that wasn't always there in another fashion. So no, I don't believe there's any necessarily point in time of change.
It's more of a gradual, a gradient than a singular event. Is that fair to say?
No further questions? No, okay, sure.
Are the Kuatoa completely subservient to Tug, who they believe to be their god, Blibdu Pullop?
I suppose.
Have you witnessed this subservience, or have you ever witnessed any of them disobey Blibdu Pullop?
No. He seems to be a good leader of them. They should have no reason to.
So you've never seen any of these Kuatoa even doubt his word? In the smallest and most minor of offenses?
No.
So, with the Kuatoa being completely subservient to Tug, based on your eyewitness account, do you believe Tug to be the god Blibdu Pullop?
Yeah.
Are you subservient to Blibdu Pullop?
We're pals, So it comes and goes, and while he's on another plane of existence, essentially, with certain powers and everything.
So you can question his
Yeah,
godhood.
we can have healthy and constructive banter, right?
Of course, just as any friends do. Have you ever had this discourse with Blibdu Pullop on any trifling matters, say what to eat for breakfast, or who knows, who to bet on in a gambling match, per se?
Nothing comes to mind because the examples you mentioned are yeah, fairly small. I'm sure there's some small stuff, but nothing that is even registering on the memory banks.
How did you feel about Blibdu Pullop erecting a statue of himself in Frogspear? Did he run that past you? Did you have any questions about that or grievances?
I don't live there.
I see. So were you aware of the statue being erected in Frogspear?
Sometimes our boy Tyrell here zones out, so no.
Do you think Blibdu Pullop knows that to erect a statue of a religious idol in a city center, there's lots of proper paperwork that needs to be filed first?
Well, clearly that was not understood.
Have you ever seen Tug threaten anyone with the Kuatoa before?
Threaten how?
Verbally, physically, use them as a means to obtain something that he wants, essentially as hired muscle. Has he ever used the Kuatoa to persuade someone? The Kuatoa are a menacing fighting force, would you agree? They are most formidable warriors.
I think as mentioning of the muscle, yeah, I think that's fair and shouldn't be anything wrong with that. As a person of his stature probably should have a guarded amount of individuals that can properly protect as needed.
What I'm implying is less protection and more aggressive behavior. Has he ever threatened anyone with the Kuatoa?
I mean, maybe verbally, but without any proper follow-up of that, I've never seen anything other than just hearsay words.
Is the raising of the 1/3 of Frogspear not enough evidence?
Evidence?
Yes, the Kuatoa have taken over 1/3 of Frogspear and claimed it as their own, erecting a statue in the image of Blibdu Pulip and sending out missionaries to gather more followers.
Have you never played Civ Civilizations?
I'm not aware of this game, no.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of natural progression with things of survival of the fittest. No, is there?
It,
I don't see a
under
problem.
the proper regulations, I would agree. Yes, missionaries are a great way to expand your religion. But again, we are discussing the unregistered metaphysical religious organization, which Blibdu Pulip is very clearly in charge of. So what I'm asking is, are these actions something that should be taken upon someone's responsibility before the proper paperwork is in place?
And where would he know slash should have been made aware? Like what entities were even nearby Frogspear? Like I don't see how he would have
Religious
had.
affiliations are all over Morningstar. It is well known in each civilized society.
So say you, yeah.
Say, yes, me, as an extension of the city of Nyctanthes, the continent police of Morningstar.
Mm-hmm.
The laws are well known.
You guys just got a PDA. I don't believe this.
PDAs are merely a technological advancement of the Artificers College. If you care to speak of religion, simply go down 2 buildings to the Great Convergence, where the hall is home and host to a enormous slew of registered metaphysical gods.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few more questions for you, Tyrell. To your knowledge, did Tug ever make an attempt to contact any Morningstar religious affiliation to submit a proposal for becoming a registered member?
I'm gonna give you a big no on that one.
Very well. I have no further questions for you, Tyrell. Thank you for your time.
Are you like a computer program? You had 6 questions and it turned into 1. Sorry, you don't know what that is yet. But your
No.
kids love it.
Okay, Marty McFly. Do the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2 have any questions for Tyrell while he's on the stand, or wish to call?
I have a few questions. I would say.
Please approach.
Tyrell, in your, journeys, would you say that the Kuatoa have ever been, mean or aggressive towards you in any way?
Absolutely not.
Have they ever, to your knowledge, have you ever seen any of them show aggression to anyone?
No, they're quite resourceful. They build well. They're very respectful. Yeah, all around great fish.
And in Frogspear, would you not say that in its time it was in an emergency of distress when the statue was being built and the religious foundation was established there? Would you not say that the town was in dire need of assistance?
I would absolutely agree. In fact, we may have seen many lives lost if not for your step in and founding of a cause and a drive for that community and essentially a building of a new citadel. I mean, it can only be for the good.
So wouldn't you assume that in a town that had been devastated and was in a situation of dire need, that sometimes paperwork can get looked over or lost or maybe not informed that it needed to be filled out to better the community and move things forward? And then once things are established and kind of back to status quo. Things can be caught up, and then the dot your T's, cross your I's type of stuff can be taken care of. Wouldn't you say you've seen some of that play out at Frog Spear?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think I catch on exactly that. We were in, essentially a state of emergency there, and your actions proved timely and swift to ensure the continuity of an entire species, even potentially, and then we can take care of the paperwork. Now that we're aware of this, we know we need to take care of that. So I don't see why there's any additional
Hi,
need.
Justice Ginsburg. I object. This is merely speculation between two members of the same party.
I mean, I would be happy to call 20 witnesses up in this moment that are citizens of Frog Spear and get their firsthand accounts of everything that's gone on.
Let it be
there.
shown that Blibdu Pulip is motioning to his followers, the Kuatoa, and again, this would merely be speculation and personal opinion.
I just think that the blind jury should understand the situation of Frog Spear when these accusations were taking place. The town was in dire need.
I would agree with Blibdu Pulip's stance, and I would also like to question where the priority of a 3-story tall statue fit into those dotting the T's and crossing the I's.
I cannot help that people were so happy that help was sent there that they wanted to build something. I mean, that was on them.
Your Honor, I would like to call Blibdu Pulip to the stand, please. If Tyrell is done and Blibdu Pulip is done sharing his opinion with him.
Yeah, but when I walk by, I want to do a big huff of air at Tony.
Tony doesn't even seem fazed.
It's good.
That's good.
Tug, or Blibdu Pulip, I only have one question, if I may.
As long as it's just one. Let the blind jury hear that it was just one question.
Did you know your father?
No.
Objection.
Objection! How is that relevant to this?
I retreat, Your Honor.
Let it be known by the blind jury that he's just trying to get me emotionally distraught because he's worried about something. Just because I didn't know my father does not establish my ethics and my father walked out on me and my mother. How dare you?
Blibdu Pulip.
How dare you?
Blibdu Pulip. Please, order. You may return to your seat. Your Honor, I would like to call one final person to the stand in this order. I would like to call Bastian, the former owner of the Pointy Stick and the current owner of the Golden Blueberry, to the stand. So you see Tug, your good old buddy, old pal, sort of saunter up to the stand, and he's kind of looking at you with kind of big eyes.
They cut his tongue out already.
Mr. Bastian, can you tell us your relationship with Blibdu Pulip? Why, yes. I operate a business called the Golden Blueberry in the new third of Frog Spear. We serve blueberry wine and the finest seaweed to all the patrons that enter our doors. How was your establishment spared in this enormous fight against this giant Was yours the only establishment left standing after this bout? By circumstance alone, it was the only building left standing after the altercation. Peculiar. Are you business partners with Blibdoo Pulip? Wasn't always partners, but I provide a service and he provides the clientele. And that service is blueberry wine and seaweed. I see. Why these two items? Do you know why these two items are such a hit among the Kuatoa? I believe they have religious meaning. I see. Just a few more questions. Have you ever seen Blibdoo Pulip use the Kuatoa aggressively or show any acts of violence on your premises? The Kuatoa are most noble people. I can't say that recently there's been any altercations. Recently there hasn't been any altercations. In the Golden Blueberry, are you implying that there were or was something that happened in the Pointy Stick before you were affiliated with Mr. Blibdoo Pulip? Was a rough and tumble place, and I think that ultimately the Kuatoa coming in and bringing such business to the third of the Frog Spear was much better than how it used to be. So there was an altercation then in your establishment, the Pointy Stick. There may have been a blood spill, yes, but it's none of my business, and I've honestly seen much worse in my tenure as a bartender. Can you please describe the events that transpired? You can see him sort of really hesitating and having his eyes kind of scan and worriedly looking at you, Blib, and he says, well, there was a time when Blibdoo Pulip was making merriment and singing with his little gnome buddy, and they were having a great old time. It was right after the events of the desolation of the Third of Frog Spear, and there was a scribe that failed to record the moment of the song that Blibdoo Pulip was performing. And do you know the name of this song he was performing? It was Blueberry Wine. Blueberry Wine. I see. So this scribe you describe lost his life because he did not record this merriment, this song that was being performed by, you said, a gnome and Blibdoo Pulip himself. Do you know who this gnome was? I do not know who the gnome was, but he was obviously part of their party. Your Honor, I would like it to be shown that the gnome could only be Billy Banger, who was well known in the company of the Zoo Warriors Electric Boogaloo 2. Just to confirm...
Objection, absolutely object. Speculation to the fullest. No one can verify who that gnome was other than the eyewitnesses, and he's already established that he had no idea who the guy was.
Sustained. Very well. I would simply like to ask you then, were there any other gnomes other than the one you saw performing the song with Blibdoo Pulip amongst their party? No, there was not. Thank you, sir. I hope your business prospers. Your Honor. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I would like to cross-examine the witness, if I could, please.
Of course, and as soon as you're done with that, we'll wrap up the session tonight.
Oh, it's we can start tomorrow or next time if we need. Well, I'll probably forget everything that I'm gonna say.
Say what you got. It's just now 10 o'clock, so get your questions out and.
Bastion, it was I would like to establish for the blind jury that in what way are we considered business partners? As you said earlier, I provide a clientele and you provide a service. I mean, how does that make me a business partner? I don't gain a profit from your income, do I?
Monetary one, no, you do not.
I mean, by the terms of business partner you've established, we would all be business partners in one way. I mean, if I provide being thirsty and you provide the drink, what it be? I mean, we business partners now?
Monetarily, no.
So, I mean, I just think the blind jury should understand that I have no fat in this fire, as some would say. I don't benefit from your establishment's income and or whatnot. Secondly, to the terms of the scribe, yes, I would sadly say that such events did happen. But did you ever hear, me personally give that command?
No, it was one of your it was your right claw.
Yeah, one of the Kuatoa themselves. So would you say that what would you not say that I did not step in maybe a little too late, but did I not clarify that this action is not acceptable?
Yes, very very swiftly after the unfortunate spilling of the blood, you made it very clear.
Would you also say that in general that this 1/3 of Frog Spear has profited and grown, and the community is starting to accept the Kuatoa?
It has. Some are slow to come around, but they don't have much choice.
Yeah, because they live there, correct?
Correct.
So this is a free world for people to live where they want to live, right?
I would agree.
I do believe that I don't think I have anything more here to say. Other than we have an eyewitness, a native of Frog Spear who has been able to end this tragedy, start a business, profit. He's accepted the people. He's seen the good. So once again, I don't see the problem here. But thank you for coming this way, and speaking on behalf of Frog Spear.
Your Honor, before he steps down, I do not have any questions for him, but I would like to address the blind jury. It does not take a wise individual to see the connections between Blibdoopulop and the owner of the Golden Blueberry, former owner of the Pointy Stick. Obviously, the wine and seaweed hold some sort of religious benefit to the Kuatoa, and it is provided by the businessman. So while there is no coin exchanged, there's very clearly something fishy going on here, with his business being the only one to remain standing and then being established as a base of operations for the Kuatoa in France.
What objection? Once again, this is all speculation. No one planned. You are damning a man for not losing his wealth, his way of providing for himself and family. Like, just because he luckily didn't lose everything, that's what you're basing your entire verdict on?
The blind jury, I am merely drawing parallels that this was premeditated. This was not happenstance. That the only building...
Speculation. Once again, wipe this from the record. All speculation.
Sustained. Both of you return to your seats. Mr. Bastion, you may return to your seat as well. We will now take a 10-minute recess and reconvene when you return. That's where we'll stop off for tonight. Made it through a good little chunk of it. Still got some stuff left on the docket. Killing of endangered species, domestic terrorism, first-degree murder, the little stuff.
Getting the major things out of the way first.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm being shown in the best light. Like, I mean,
is it the the prosecutor's job to show you in the best light? I don't think it is.
Very surprised you didn't call Steve up to talk about Josh's godhood.
I mean,
that time will come. Don't worry. I'm saving that for a more relevant or poignant case than, I'm not gonna get into the motivations and the strategies behind Tony's prosecution here, but he hasn't forgot about you and your perspective on Blib Doop Boolip.
Should we say goodbye to the stream?
Yes, we should say goodbye to the stream. Goodbye, stream. Thanks anybody that tuned in.
Bye, stream.
I'll try and do timestamps and stuff so you guys can jump around and see what the juicy bits are. But yeah, signing off. Adios.
You mean not let him see the pre-trial
yes
stuff that's happening there, where they would condemn themselves?
Yes. Yeah.